Officially, we are told that this is a natural limestone rock arch, a so-called natural phenomenon. And we could probably agree with that, if not for several interesting details which this video will discuss. These so-called gates are located in southern England, on the Jurassic coast of Dorset. This coastline stretches for 150 kilometers, and its rocks belong to the Mesozoic era, covering a period of, attention, 185 million years. These gates are called Durdle Door. Durdle, in Old English, means a drill or a drilled hole. Combined together, we get a rather intriguing interpretation, a drilled door. So even the name itself casts doubt on the idea of a blind act of nature. Moreover, this doubt only grows stronger if we look at the place from this angle. As you can see, this drilled door is part of a larger formation, which also has its own name, Man o' War Bay. Man of War is a historical name for the largest warships, specifically the sailing warships of the British Navy that appeared as far back as the 15th century. And the overall composition together with the arch indeed resembles a ship, doesn't it? Now let's move to the opposite side of the arch and see what we can notice there. Some kind of channels or grooves carved into the rock going down toward the sea and disappearing underwater. This is how they look up close. They strongly resemble the remains of some megalithic structures. I would really like to dig under these neatly aligned stones that still lie there, to see how deep they go and what is actually underneath. But we cannot, because this place is private property belonging to the Weld family, whose estates in Dorset amount to 12,000 acres. Because of this, the place is accessible only for visiting and recreation, but nothing more. On top of that, in 2001, the entire Dorset coastline was included in the UNESCO World Heritage List in the UK. I don't know about you, but I personally get a strong feeling that everything described above looks like the fragment of something not created by blind nature, but with the involvement of intelligent forces, perhaps people of an ancient civilization. So even though we cannot investigate the place directly, I decided to try to look underwater anyway. Not with scuba gear or a pirate sneaking into southern England, but using the official Google Earth program. And here we go. We moved to southern England for the subject of our research. Here is the small beach and Durdle Door. Next to it is a cottage village with a parking area for visitors coming here. For a country like the UK with quite a cool climate, this is actually a great place for leisure, beaches, and warmer summer days. You can swim here and even sunbathe in these comfortable little bays. Now let's see what's underwater. Even from here, we can see a circular and an oval shape. Some might say these are reflections on the water or technical artifacts of the program. Everyone can make and stick to their own conclusions. I made mine, and I'm sharing them here. Now I want to show something else using the Google Earth settings. There's a feature called Day-Night. At night mode, the underwater features become more distinct and three-dimensional, as they actually are. Let me remind you, the images in Google Earth itself were made using mapping and hydrographic data of the US and UK Navy, as well as satellite data from space. The dark shapes in the water are objects located underwater. The depth here is small. In twilight mode, the objects are visible quite well, and their shapes speak for themselves. In my opinion, there is no need to comment here any further. It is enough to just carefully look to examine the shapes on the seafloor. And now take a look at this feature. Look at this semicircle with what seem to be entrances. This is definitely not just some random fractures of the seafloor. It clearly had some kind of functional purpose, so to speak. You can see it for yourselves. And now I would like to draw your attention once again to this part called Man o' War Bay, and specifically to the ridge which, in my opinion, is a continuation of that so-called rocky formation resembling a ship. This ridge is clearly the continuation of some former structure, or what remains of it. Pay attention to the object next to this ridge that lies underwater. It is also clearly not a product of blind nature. And this ridge itself, when zoomed in, shows visible signs of something created by intelligent forces. There's also an interesting place near the sandy beach. Its outline absolutely signals being created by intelligent hands. And once again, I want you to look at the object underwater. It appears turquoise because it's submerged, although here it looks as if it's on the same level as the above water ridge. Look at the lower right part of it. There is something that resembles a trace of technological impact. And what do you think about these objects? At this point, the video could actually end, but there will be a few more minutes of underwater structure overview. So if anyone is interested, you can continue watching in silence.